Hello and welcome. I'm Marco Castellano, Vice President of Product Management for Azure AI. Today we're going to go deep on building document intelligence applications using Azure Applied AI Services and Azure Cognitive Services. Documents are the connective tissue for how organizations get things done. They record and communicate key information between parties. For example, in the form of invoices, contracts, meeting notes, architectural diagrams, or other forms of record. And yet, creating and extracting this information and making it usable has long been a manual, time-consuming process that's prone to error, especially when the documents vary in format or language, or contain both print and handwritten text. On top of that, each organization has a wide variety of documents with different compliance and security requirements. Take hospitals, for example. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars on denied claims from insurers because of the complexity and the paperwork involved in the claims management process. Sometimes, due to the complexity or the cost, valuable data in our documents can go unused or overlooked, just sitting in physical or digital storage. Let's imagine a law office, for example, working on cases with boxes of court records, handwritten witness testimonies, and financial documents. If they could digitize that data and make it searchable in a secure environment, imagine how much more time they could spend on actual casework instead of pouring through paper. Documents present many challenges, but we can use AI to drive efficiency, unlock insights, create customer delight, and empower employees to focus on higher impact projects. During this session, we'll show you how to build a new conference app that integrates several intelligent document processing capabilities to provide attendees with a great experience. We'll extract information from documents, translate them, transform them, and analyze their content. First, we'll review the Azure AI portfolio so we can understand which services support document intelligence. Next, we'll look at the Azure OpenAI service and how it can be used to generate new content, like a marketing email to promote the conference. Then we'll explore how Azure Form Recognizer helps accelerate document processing, for instance by automating COVID vaccination card verifications in our conference app. Next, we'll explore the latest capabilities in Document Translator, which we'll use to translate English language PDFs about conference events into other languages, all while preserving the document's formatting. We'll also have a look at the summarization and sentiment analysis capabilities in our cognitive services for language to help us keep attendees informed and help us act on their feedback. And finally, we'll pull all these great features together to build a great conference app. We're so excited to share with you how easy it is to get started with pre-built models and to customize them for your business. Let's dive in. At Microsoft, we aim to bring world-class AI within reach of every developer without requiring machine learning expertise. This is our layer cake slide. I like it because I like cake, but also because it shows how our services build on top of each other. So everyone from data scientists to business users have access to game-changing AI technology. Azure AI is our portfolio of services designed for developers and data scientists, and it can be used in any app by making a simple REST API call. Our SDKs help you configure those API calls easily in whatever app you're building, whether it's a web app with bots, or a mixed reality app, or a desktop app. And these services can run in the cloud or on your local network in containers. In fact, Azure is the only cloud provider that enables AI deployment anywhere, on-premise, on Azure, and even on other clouds using containers. Each AI service provides pre-built models to help you get started quickly. And you can bring your own data to customize on top of these models to increase model accuracy for your scenarios. At the foundation, you'll see Azure Machine Learning, a robust platform for developers and data scientists to build, train, and deploy models. Next are our customizable vision, speech, language, and decision models. These are models that we've pre-trained for you with Azure Machine Learning, and these services offer developers the most comprehensive set of domain-specific models available, 30 of them, across vision, speech, language, and decision making, all based on Microsoft's breakthrough research. Finally, we support professional developers with AI services built for specific scenarios. They build on top of Azure Cognitive Services by adding task-specific AI and business logic that accelerates time to value when building solutions for common scenarios. For example, processing documents at scale can require more than just the vision service alone has to offer. Azure Form Recognizer builds on top of Cognitive Services' computer vision and language capabilities, and includes pre-built models for quickly reading in common forms like invoices, IDs, and W-2s, as well as the ability to easily build your own custom models for documents. These applied AI models are helping developers build AI solutions more quickly, reducing development time from months to days, without requiring any data science expertise. In this session, we're going to focus on the parts of the Azure AI stack that aid in document intelligence, namely the Azure OpenAI service, Azure Form Recognizer, and Cognitive Services for Language. We'll demo the components separately, then pull them all together in our conference app. At the foundation of our AI stack is breakthrough research that makes AI accuracy, understanding, and responsible implementation possible. We have research centers around the world, employing thousands of researchers and producing over 3,500 papers and 22,000 patents specific to AI. Thanks to their work, our models have set industry milestones as the first to achieve human parity in areas across vision, speech, and language. Azure AI continues to set the standard for how organizations can realize value with AI. Another core pillar of our research is responsible AI. For AI to benefit everyone, it has to be developed and used in ways that warrant people's trust. That's why responsible AI is at the forefront of our product development, and why we continue bringing capabilities that empower data scientists and practitioners to put this responsible AI into practice. Our AI at Scale initiative, hosting some of the world's largest AI models like Turing and GPT-3 on Azure, is pushing the boundaries of language model capabilities. This initiative seeks to develop large models pre-trained on vast amounts of data to create powerful AI systems that understand the nuances of language while also making these models more cost-effective and accessible. One outcome of this initiative is Zcode, a large-scale language model that is an interlingua. That means it contains a machine representation of nearly every concept that can be expressed in human language. That enables Zcode to understand human languages even when we don't have a lot of training data to work with. Using Zcode, Microsoft was able to add machine translation support for the Somali language in only 3 weeks. It's been instrumental to our recent milestone of making information in text and documents accessible to over 5 billion people worldwide by supporting over 100 languages in our AI services. Continuing our investments in providing AI at scale to customers, today at Build, we're announcing the limited access preview of the Azure OpenAI service as part of Azure Cognitive Services. This service allows you to build cutting-edge applications using large-scale generative models for a variety of use cases, such as writing assistance, code generation, and reasoning over data. Its GPT-3 models are language models with hundreds of billions of parameters that were trained on trillions of words. The OpenAI service also features codex models, which translate natural language to code. GitHub Copilot, which runs on Codex, is already supporting hundreds of thousands of developers with code generation. As with our other cognitive services, you can bring in your own data to fine-tune these models, increasing the accuracy and relevance of model outputs. Today, we're going to show you the Azure OpenAI service and some of its unique capabilities. It's a general-purpose text-in, text-out interface. When the model is given a prompt, it'll return a response, attempting to match the pattern you provided. As with our other AI services, we're focused on developing, using, and governing the service's content generation capabilities responsibly to ensure these models are being used as they're intended. Let's take a deeper look at the OpenAI service and see how it can generate marketing copy in the voice of Homer, the ancient Greek author and poet, to excite the attendees of our conference. On the landing page, you can make your own models and upload your own training files. In this instance, these files have been built to talk like Homer. Then you can choose and customize the model with your training and validation data. We now have a model that we've refined. After the model's been deployed, you can use the model. We can then give the model a prompt on the dataset, and it can extract the relevant data to give us an answer in a structured way. Here, we're asking GPT-3 to complete this sentence. This conference is amazing because... After we click Generate, we can see that the model can generate a response to the prompt in the style of Homer. And we can do it again to get a different output. Isn't that amazing? Now that we've got attendees excited to attend the event, we need to figure out how to build out our app with more document intelligence. We want to streamline check-in and vaccine verification, understand and translate conference documents, and simplify submitting and analyzing event feedback, all through our app. We'll begin with the most common starting point for customers building document processing solutions, Azure Form Recognizer, the applied AI service. Azure Form Recognizer is the go-to service for developers building document processing solutions because it's purpose-built for that scenario. Customers from various industries, ranging from financial services to healthcare, use it today. And with 164 languages supported so far, organizations across Asia, Europe, and the US are unlocking efficiencies with this service. Let's take a look at Air Canada, for instance. When the Canadian government passed a vaccine mandate in 2021, Air Canada had 2 months to verify thousands of employee vaccine forms. To do this at scale, with accuracy, they used Azure Form Recognizer, verifying 70% of the vaccine forms automatically and reducing the amount of manual effort involved, meeting the tight government deadline on time. CVS Health digitized intake for prescriptions, including the 40% of prescriptions that still arrive as paper or fax, helping technicians fill prescriptions much faster and easier than before, using Azure Form Recognizer and Text Analytics for Health to automate these tasks. CVS used Form Recognizer to extract information for automated data entry, making the end-to-end process more efficient. And as a result, CVS reduced the processing time and cut their costs. Neda Haibi is the lead product manager for Form Recognizer, and she's going to walk us through a demo on the key things the service can do. Neda, take it away.
Thank you, Marco. Trying out and getting started with Azure Form Recognizer is super easy. All you need is a Cognitive Services or Form Recognizer resource. To start, I'll quickly walk through the capabilities available through the Form Recognizer API. Next, I will demo how to use a pre-built model using the new model for health insurance card as our example. Then, we'll take a look at how easy it is to train and test a custom model using a complex commercial licensing contract as our example. Let's go to the Form Recognizer Studio to get started. Here in the studio, you can try out Form Recognizer capabilities and also train your own custom models. The read capability extracts text, bounding boxes, and indications of handwritten and printed text in documents. The layout capability extracts the document structure, such as paragraphs, title, headers, tables, and checkboxes. Read and layout now support 164 printed languages and 9 handwritten languages. The general document capability extracts key value pairs and entities found within the documents with no training needed. Below these are pre-built models. You can also use pre-built models to quickly process common documents such as invoices, receipts, identity documents, and we're now introducing two new pre-built models, the health insurance card model and the vaccine card model. Let's try out the new health insurance card model. In the health insurance card model, you can try out your own documents by adding them or analyze the sample document. Let's analyze the sample document. When analyzing the sample document, the document is sent to Form Recognizer for processing and extracting all the information. Once the document is analyzed, you can see that it extracts all the information from the document. For example, the group number, the copays, the member information, the prescription info, and the ID number. It's all provided as a JSON output with its bounding boxes, confidence, and key value pairs, and a sample code for you to easily integrate this into your applications. In addition, you can train custom models for more unique structured and unstructured documents. Now, let's quickly see how you can train a model for your own documents with just a few unstructured documents. Let's take a project I pre-created for this session. We're going to use the CUAD dataset and create a model to extract information from development agreements, including the Party 1, Party 1 alias, Party 2. These are multi-page documents, unstructured documents. Each one has a different structure. Let's see how easy it is to label. All you need to do is select the text you want to label and assign it to the label you're interested in. So for example, assign this to Party 1. Once you labeled all your documents, you can train the model. You give it a name, a description, and select the type of model you want to train. You can train a neural model for unstructured documents, a variety of documents in a single model, or a template model for documents in the same structure. In this case, we're going to select the neural model and click the Train button. You can see all your models and their status, and you can test your model. Training usually takes about 20 minutes, so we're going to test it with a model I pre-created. Let's add a document and test it with. Let's select the document we didn't train with and analyze it. Analyzing it will analyze this document with the model we just created and extract the information that is needed. You can see that with just a few samples of documents, the model extracted the Party 1, the Party 1 alias, the Party 2, the clauses that we labeled, and all the information we labeled and trained the model for. It provides the output in a JSON format. So you can see the document type and all the information and the extracted data. For example, the agreement date, the date, and all the bounding box and the confidence. And it provides you with a code that you can easily take and input into your applications. All you need to do is put your endpoint and key and run the code in order to analyze additional documents directly from the API. We saw you can use Form Recognizer to extract information from documents using pre-built models or custom models tailored to your documents that extract the exact information you need for your specific business scenarios. The extracted information can be used to streamline data entry, robotic process automation scenarios, knowledge mining, search, and other use cases. Thanks, and back to you, Marco.
Great, thanks, Netta. To recap, you just got a walkthrough of the many things Form Recognizer can do, starting with the read, layout, and general document capabilities, all available through a single API. Today, these capabilities support 164 print languages and 9 handwritten languages. Then Netta showed us how to use a pre-built model to process health insurance cards. We'll use a different pre-built model in our conference app later to verify COVID-19 vaccination cards. Finally, we saw how you can build a custom model to analyze complex, unstructured documents for a specific scenario, all within Azure Portal. Next month, look for new capabilities, including pre-built models for health insurance cards and vaccine cards, added enhancements to layout understanding to extract paragraphs, headers, and footers, as well as expanded language support for invoices and business cards. Now that we've covered applied AI, let's go down the layer cake to Azure Cognitive Services. Azure Cognitive Services provides APIs for you to consume ready-to-use and customizable AI models to process content in the form of text, speech, or imagery, and help you make more informed decisions. To build out our conference app, we're going to focus on some new language capabilities. Translator is a language service supporting over 110 languages and dialects. Azure customers translate the equivalent of 3.3 billion pages per month with this service, engaging their customers and employees in their preferred languages. Last year, we announced Azure Cognitive Service for Language, a unified service that consolidates familiar NLP and text analytics capabilities previously available as separate Azure resources. Now, developers can use these capabilities in a single convenient SDK by creating a language service resource, or access them with a single API. Krishna, can you show us how these services work?
Thank you, Marco. Now I'm going to demo how language features like document translation, summarization, and classification can support some document processing scenarios. First, let's look at document translation. We will make it easy for employees to translate their document on demand while preserving all the formatting. Organizations with an international reach often have a need to translate documents from foreign languages into their business language and vice versa. Empowering employees to translate documents on demand improves their work efficiency and collaboration. Document translation, powered by the state-of-the-art Z-code model, enables users to translate documents across 110 languages while preserving the layout and formatting of the original file. It now supports a variety of file types including Word, PowerPoint, PDF, and you can use either pre-built or custom-machine translation models. Document translation is enterprise-ready with Azure AD authentication and secured access between the service and storage through managed identity. Packaging document translation as a ready-to-use business application can be a huge help to employees. The IT team of the organization can configure translator and storage resources and store credentials in the Azure keyword. Then share the keyword name to the employees and control who can access the keyword. An employee simply installs the document translation application and enters the Azure keyword name in the setting. That's it. Now on demand, the employee can select the document in their network and translate it to the language of their choice. To translate terminologies in a very specific way, employees can optionally provide glossary files to use. The document gets uploaded into storage account, invokes document translation, and get the document translated. The translated document then gets downloaded into the target folder in the network. You can see the translated document here. You can see the translated document retaining the layout and format as in the original file. If the employee just needs to translate a simple text phrase, then they can do it from the Translate Text tab. Just type or paste the source text, select the target language, and click Translate. By the way, this application code is made available as an open source for organizations to customize with their own brand and user interface. Let's look into language service, which helps you automate workflows by classifying documents, text, and emails using your business-specific labels to improve decision making. It can also help you comprehend information faster by summarizing text content, extracting predefined entities like a name, organization, or phone number, and business-specific entities like a supplier name, delivery date, etc. In addition, it helps you to analyze customer sentiment, extract key phrases, and automatically identify and redact personally identifiable information. Now, let's explore some document processing capabilities using the Language Studio. Language Studio is the portal through which you can access all these language features and capabilities. You sign in into the Language Studio using your Azure credentials. Once signed in, you can pick any of the language resources you have access to and start using the feature. You can try out pre-built capabilities as well as create custom capabilities with your own data, labeling them, building models, and testing the model within Language Studio. Let's take a scenario where an enterprise can't also as an automated process to collect latest news and blogs on technology relevant to their organization and share it with their employees. Sharing only the title and link to the article means employees need to spend more time to identify the right article of their interest. Document summarization feature comes handy here. It allows us to extract a few salient sentences based on the length of the article, which can be shared with the employees to get a gist of the article. Let me demonstrate document summarization capability using Language Studio. For this demo, I'm using an actual blog post recently published by Microsoft. Let's see how document summarization pulls 5 salient sentences from the blog text. Now, just by reading the summary, you get a gist of the blog. In the Language Studio, the result is shown visually, so you can see which sentence among the input are selected and the confidence score for each of them. While using the service, you will get a JSON response as here. It will provide selected sentences and additional metadata like offset from the beginning of the input and length of the selected sentences in terms of characters. Now, let's take another scenario where an enterprise contoso want to classify documents for easy retrieval of relevant information. Custom classification feature comes handy here. It allows us to classify documents with single or multiple labels. For the demo, I'm going to show you classification of the movie plots by multiple genres. Here, for the purpose of training, I'm using approximately 200 movie plots and classified the genre. 80% of the dataset is used for training and 20% of the dataset is used as a test set. The model is already trained and deployed. It has a precision of 71% and recall of 78%. Let's take a plot from the movie Finding Nemo from Wikipedia and test the model. Here you go. The movie gets classified as both comedy and thriller, which is the right classification. In a nutshell, Azure Cognitive Services for Language has several features to process documents like translation, summarization, classification, etc., addressing your business needs. Thank you. Back to you, Marco.
Thank you, Krishna, for showing us what developers can do with Cognitive Service for Language and Translator. You can now access document and conversation summarization in preview. Document summarization captures the key points in a body of text for you automatically. Conversation summarization will summarize natural language conversations, like a support call reason and resolution for a call center. Today, we're also announcing a number of features as generally available. With Translator, you can now localize PDFs to your target language while maintaining the document's layout, meaning you can reproduce an event brochure, an expense receipt, or product instructions in a new language at a fraction of the cost. We're also excited to announce the GA of our Language Studio, which you just saw, as well as language capabilities for custom text classification, custom named entity recognition, and conversational language understanding. Now let's go over to Aysegul Unit. She's going to put all these cool services together to build a killer conference app. Aysegul?
Thank you, Marco. I can't wait to show you how we use applied AI and cognitive services to create my dream conference app. We will dive into the code, but let me first show you what we are building. This app doesn't ask to type in your data for ID or proof of vaccination. Instead, takes a picture and renders the data. I'm not a native English speaker, and sometimes it is nice to be able to read material in my own language. For that, we have a translation tab where you can drag and drop a document and get the translated version of the document downloadable with the correct formatting. It is truly magical. We have more than 100 languages to choose from. Right before a talk, I want to read documentation to figure out which talks to attend. I don't want to learn every little detail, but cut to the chase. I can upload the text by dragging again, and voila, I get a summary of the most crucial points. Finally, every event wants to hear your feedback. Filling out forms is not everyone's favorite pastime. Instead, we can use text-to-speech to transcribe and language analytics to even get the feedback sentiment. I've learned a lot in this session. And the sentiment is regular. I'm loving the AI session so far. And that's a nice. We have seen the power of cognitive and applied AI services, how to test them conveniently, train and deploy your data using the new Studio experience. As a developer, most of you integrate the new AI services into an existing application in a large code base that has other key features and integrations like databases and continuous integration, continuous delivery. I want to show you the AI integration as close to your real-world experience as possible. For that, we have an existing Next.js application created using the CLI. We have some simple UI implementation, like a button to take a picture of our documents and drag and drop functionality. You can implement the UI any way you like. The way we will build the AI features will apply to your application too. First, let's take a look at our repo. If you open the package.json, you can find the scripts, and yarn dev is the start of our application. And all of Azure SDKs are included. In addition to the AI ones, we have the storage SDKs too. Our code won't work if we don't have the right resource keys and endpoints. Let's copy environment.sample to environment. We will fill in the API key and endpoints once we create Azure resources. For that, let's go to Azure portal and click on Create Resource. I'll search for Form Recognizer. Remember, you can create a single cognitive service and use the key and endpoints if all the features you are looking for is available with Cognitive Service Resource. I'll choose a region and a unique name and select the pricing option. Once the resource is created, I can navigate to get the key and endpoint information and paste it into our .environment file. All we need to do is to yarn install and yarn dev to start. Form Recognizer has a button to take a picture of the vaccination card and ID. Let's look at Recognizer under Pages. The camera component that triggers the upload and analyze events. We have an onload vaccine, onload badge events defined. You can right-click and go to implementation of Recognizer Uploader and Recognizer Result component. We will implement the API on the API/Recognizer file. To do that, a few things has to happen, and most of the other service SDKs work very similarly. We will need to create an Azure resource, get the key and endpoint, which we have, use the key to create Azure key credentials, use Azure key credentials and endpoint to initialize a client object, and client will have all of the methods for you to make the call to the service very easy. First, we import the necessary SDK classes, Azure key credential, document analysis, and some TypeScript models. We import the key and endpoint from our .environment file. We use the key to initialize an Azure key credential and use the endpoint and Azure key credential to initialize document analysis client. Now we can call the begin analyze document method on the client and give it the model we want to use to analyze. Finally, we poll until we have the results ready and format the data and display them on our page. Both translation and summarization is triggered by the file upload event. Let's look at summarization first. We get our language key and create Azure key credentials and initialize a text analytics client. For document summary, we define an additional actions object to begin analyze actions. For translation, we are using a REST SDK and we'll have two storage containers. One of the container is for our original language files and another one for the translated counterparts. It is for organization purposes, and if you don't have a lot of documents, two containers are not needed. If you have multiple containers, a shared access signature, SAS token, appended as a query string. The token can be assigned to your container or specific blobs. Enhancing your applications with the AI features is easier using our SDKs with only few lines of code. I hope you are inspired to build with Azure's powerful AI services. Can't wait to see what you create. Back to you, Marco.
So in this breakout session, we've seen how you can use Azure AI to add document intelligence to your apps and to your business. Just think, All these capabilities and document workflows can be automated by developers to save organizations time and costs while unlocking new business insights and processes. We started off learning about the exciting innovations coming out of our AI at Scale initiative, including content generation features in the Azure OpenAI service. Then, Netta showed us how Azure Form Recognizer can recognize a wide diversity of documents, even custom ones, to accelerate document processing. After that, Krishna showed us new capabilities available for document translation and summarization, and how you can use an API call to the language service to understand natural language and sentiment, and extract custom entities specific to your organization's use case. Finally, Aishagul made all these features and more come to life in a conference app that dramatically improved our customer experience. Yeah, documents present many challenges, but we're seeing customers and partners build incredible, innovative solutions for document intelligence with the help of AI using Azure. It's quick and easy to get started with these services. In fact, we've set up a GitHub repo with the samples from today's demos to get you kickstarted with your very own conference app to see these services in action. Or, if you're just starting your AI learning journey, consider our 30-day self-paced course for Azure AI Fundamentals. We look forward to seeing what you build with Azure AI. Thanks for tuning in.